Hello, James.
What's up?
How are you?
I'm okay, I'm here at Comic-Con, just got in, and yeah, that's it.
That's it. Now, the DVD for Super is finally coming out. A lot of people didn't get to see it in the theaters because it was a limited release, but they could have watched it on VOD because even me out in small town Nashville, middle of nowhere, saw that it was on the TV. So what is on the DVD that makes it worth going out and picking it up?
Well, we have a ton of special features on the DVD. I mean, there's a commentary with me and Rain where we're very honest about the difficulty of shooting this movie. There's behind the scenes. There's a making of movie. There is stuff with Ellen Page and Rainn Wilson goofing around down at South by Southwest this year where we screened the film. I should memorize all this, but you're my first interview of the day, and I'm a little tired. But yeah, there's a ton of extra features on there for people who are really fans of the film, and I'm pleased to report we were top 10 this week on Amazon's charts on Blu-ray for Super. So it shows you that the film fans are really showing up for this movie.
Well, and it's weird because some of the critics just thought it was a little too brutal, but then that's what the fans of this movie like. Can you kind of talk about the different audience reactions that you've gotten from this, and do you care at all? Because, I mean, this obviously is a movie that you made from your heart, and it is what it is because you made it that way.
Yeah, well, I care. Listen, I mean, anybody who says they don't care at all is a liar. But there's a huge. The thing about this movie that's so strange is that the audience reaction is so. I don't want to say polarized, but I guess it is sort of polarized because the movie is extremely graphic, extremely violent. The tonal shifts are crazy in the movie. I mean, it's an everything genre. We're an anti-genre film, so there's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of humor. There's a lot of action. And some people love that. I mean, for some people, I can't tell you the amount of messages I've gotten on Twitter and Facebook saying, finally, a movie that's made just specifically for me. And then other people, it's really an extreme movie. So you have to be a fan of that extremity. You have to be a fan of something that you really haven't seen before. And as much as, Super gets compared to movies like, Defender or Kick-Ass, this isn't really a movie about a superhero. It's about a man who puts on a superhero costume and his strange journey that he goes on. So,
Well, I think I heard somebody call it a love letter to divorce, and also that it's a very personal film. What do you think when you hear things like that?
Well, it's strange. There's a lot of people that think this movie is about my divorce from Jenna Fischer. But the truth is, I wrote this movie in 2002 when Jenna and I had only been married for a year. So it isn't really personal in that way. But it is an extremely personal film in that I feel for the character of Frank more so than any character I've ever dealt with in a film before. Frank's journey is my journey. If Frank is insane, I am insane. And I think that's a lot of what the movie is about. I think Frank is insane. Rain told me that on the DVD commentary. But I think that, it really is about this, sort of trying to balance, what is justice and what is just flat out rage that's for your own benefit. What is... God is God something that's real, or is it just something that we use to justify our incredibly unusual behavior? And so I think that this is it's a very personal film.
Well, and if you wrote it in 2002 and then the stuff that happened to you with the divorce happens before you make the film, I mean, does the script change at all? I mean, did you put anything else into it afterwards, or did it pretty much stay the script that you wrote in 2002?
Yeah, I think that almost, listen, I wrote the script in 2002. We almost made the movie in 2005 with different producers. At that time, there were a couple of minor changes, but since that time, the script has changed almost not at all. When Rain and I first met on this movie, we loved the script, and then when we started getting producers attached and people wanting to finance the film, people came in who said, I want to change this, it's too violent, it's too that, it's too, many things at one time. And we said, listen, this is a movie we want to make. You can make it this way. We've got Rainn Wilson, we've got Ellen Page, we've got Liv Tyler, we've got Kevin Bacon. So if you want to make the movie with those people and us, then we're going to make the script the way it is. And we pretty much stuck to the script extremely throughout the whole movie.
And you have the specials, which I think came out in 2000 that you wrote, and that's a superhero movie. Some people don't consider this a superhero movie, as you said a minute ago, but it falls into that genre, and there's some themes in there. Why did you want to go back with Super after you wrote such a funny movie to begin with?
Well, I think that there's a number of things. There were certain things that were disappointing to me about the specials in the end that didn't quite come across the way I originally intended. But this movie is very, very different from the specials. The specials is a flat-out comedy, and this movie is, it's a comedy, but it's also a drama. It's also an action film. It's just a much different film. And listen, I grew up with superheroes. That's a part of my personal mythology. So looking at superheroes from different angles is something I love to do. I would make a superhero movie again, whether, I've talked to people about superheroes that are out there, Marvel and DC, but maybe some other original superhero film too. It's not what I want to do next, but I really do love examining the superhero from different angles and from angles that we haven't seen before.